So we are going live now. Welcome back, my battle language buddies. Nice to have you here in today's live. We're going to do, I think this is going to be the last one for this year, last live. I don't know if I'm going to do a video for tomorrow. Today's December 30. Has been a great year in so much information, so much to talk about, so much to, well, it has been really crazy, both I think for the world, for my YouTube channel, for every single one of us. And yes, to for a very crazy year. I think enough crazy topic could be the possibility that Meghan Markle gets to be the president of the United States. And we all know that Meghan has always been interested in politics since, well, forever. That's a way that she has tried to bring awareness to herself, to her own personal brand. And that is something that we should always be aware of. Because in understanding and trying to understand the intentions of people, how to read their body language, you have to try to make sense of their public appearances. What do they stand for? What do they talk about in their speeches, in their conversations? Which kind of topics do they try to relate themselves to? That is very important. So that gives us a whole picture of the personality, the character of many parts of that personality that lets us have a better understanding of them. In this case of Meghan Markle, in our case of anyone that we meet, and this sums up very good. See if I can. I thought I can. Yes, this sums pretty good. the comments that I gotten so far. Please, God, no. Yes, just like in The Office. Please insert here The Office meme. Yeah, many people have that opinion. Nobody would like to see Meghan get to be president, or at least the Meghan that we know, all right? But it's a good exercise, especially because this live is not going to be specifically about politics, but more about behavior. So maybe you're interested in politics, but this live is not going to be about the political side or the political part, so to speak, of the process of becoming a president, but more the human behavior and how can we apply that for our daily lives. So, that's the topic of my channel. That's something that I always stand for. I want to make these videos, no matter the topic. They're all usually the British royal family and the non-royals too, the Montecito royals in this case. But the general idea of these videos is that you learn something, that you get something for yourself, and you get to act upon it, to get it some knowledge, some information that you can act to your benefit. So, the formal introduction is necessary. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, and I'm the body language guy. You'll hear because you love body language, you love human behavior, you love the topic of the British royal family, and that's the topic that I've been focusing. And when we talk about Meghan Markle, I made a little presentation here that could be very useful to have a sequence of content. In this case, we have to talk about what motivates people, all right? And what motivates people that are not afraid to go into the public. And I thought about these three items that sum up some of, in a global way, the three most important drives for someone that is not afraid to go all out on their non-privacy. You know that the Harkles, Meghan and Harry, have been very ambiguous about their privacy. They wanted privacy, but what they have been living is not privacy at all. But there are three things that people might want when they go all out trying to conquer the world or conquer their industry. They want either power and control, or they want money and wealth, or they want fame and glory, or they want a mix of the three. Of course, we're talking about very ambitious goals. They are not the only goals that there is. You might want to help other people, or help as many people as you want. That's a valid goal. You might want to, I don't know, push science in some way, or push social issues in some way. We're going to try to limit it with the basic ones, the powerful ones, okay? Especially when we have the difference between power and control and money and wealth. I don't know, what do you think has been Meghan's drive so far? In my opinion, she has had a lot of drive for fame and glory. That's something that a lot of people want, but not everyone knows how to capitalize on. Because fame and glory is pure and simple awareness, to make people know that you exist, right? Yeah, just to be known. The problem is known for what? And that's when you get that distinction between being famous and being infamous, right? Or famous for all the wrong reasons. That's the big problem here. Meghan could have a drive for power and control, in the sense that, well, she was, as said by Harry himself. Harry himself said that Meghan was the reason of Megxit. There's no way around this. I'm not making this up. Nobody can say that they are making this up, because Harry said it himself. They left their royal duties. They left their duties as senior royals because of Meghan. Because Meghan liberated, freed him. Okay? There's something that we cannot escape. And the money and wealth, we could because think that Meghan is interested in money and wealth. So far, I don't see how it has worked that well, because I don't see them really doing things that are financially wise or financially logic. So it looks a bit odd. For example, what do you see logic? And this is about human behavior. We're going to talk about human behavior here. For example, you have to take the visible part of a person's behavior. What can you see? Okay. And try to reverse engineer their intentions from that. For example, you got Meghan appearing on the Ellen Show. Okay? Meghan appearing on the Ellen Show and making a fool of herself. Is that to gain power and control? I doubt it very much. I doubt it. Is that to gain money and wealth? Not at all. I don't think she was paid for that. It was just an appearance and that. It was to get fame and glory. Glory, not so much, but just being famous, not that much, but being people aware of her. Okay, I'm still here. I'm putting my face out there. I'm trying to be relatable. Okay, that's more like saying that she wants to look for the right kind of fame. Okay, we can talk about that. If that is the right kind of fame for her. But it also is like a combination between, she was called someone that had these legal problems that she apparently overcame, but she forgot things to say in a couple trials or one trial. So that could have tarnished her reputation. And maybe she's thought that appearing on the Ellen Show was a good idea to get back that relatable fame that she's thriving for. Okay, that's how you try to get what you see in people. Always try to think that people do that their actions are for a reason, especially when their actions mean so many brothers. It's not like you just show up to a party or show up to some place or place a call. Those are simple actions. But when you talk about appearing on a program, on a show, okay, that you have to plan in advance, that you have to be in talks, that you have to like set a layout of what are you going to do, what it's going to be about, talk to your PR team. Okay, it's more complex. The more complex the action the person engaged in, then the more is going to reveal about their general intentions. And this works a lot for every setting, for families. Okay, for families, for example, when someone in a family wants to make a radical change, for example, if someone wants to make a career change, or someone has a fight with another family member, or there's something relevant, the more big is the issue that happens, then the more connected it's going to be to the person's personality, character, etc. This is very important. It could sound obvious because we usually do it automatically, but since we are usually in here in our minds, we take so many things for granted and we don't really listen and we don't really see other people. And this is really important, okay? So we have power and control, we got money and wealth, we got fame and glory. So far, Meghan has shown that she is fame and glory, to be seen, to be people aware of her. And this is consistent with so many specialists that, besides what I've said in my videos, have said that Meghan has this big problem, this big issue of having all the traits of a narcissist. And this is extremely specific, because a narcissist is going to try to do everything in their power to get attention to themselves. Okay? They're going to draw attention to themselves. And this has a very particular impact on their social relationship, in all kind of relationships. They're going to get bored easily of the people around them, of the people that first they love bomb the people, they attract these people. The people say that they are magnetic. There was an interview of a friend of Meghan recently that resurfaced in the internet. I have to take a better look at it. Maybe I could do tomorrow a video about that. But they're going to attract people with charm, magnetism, do all kind of things to just be charming and magnetic. And then when these people, and it has happened with Meghan's friends, no longer serve a purpose, they're just gonna discard them. That's why, remember, narcissists are very hard to have long-term friendships and long-term relationships, because if you see someone, if you meet someone and that person doesn't have long-term friends or doesn't have apparent long-term friends, that's a huge red flag. Okay, that's something to look for. And I'm saying this because that fame of Meghan's fame has been more of a headlines fame. It's not like she's trying to show herself doing activism. She's trying to do herself to present herself doing good things, and she's standing for certain good things, and I understand that. Okay, feminism, and the other is equality, and I know that there's another one. And that's why I was talking last time when talking about Harry and Meghan, that it was a good idea that they split their brand, their brands, their personal brands, split their personal brands so they could cover more terrain, so to speak. But people might say, how could Meghan do anything in politics if she is so polarized and she is so hated, so to speak, by so many people. So many people just cannot stand her, and so many people still really love her and really stand by her. Maybe she doesn't have many friends that have stayed with her throughout the years. So we have those examples of friends, that Meghan's friends or Meghan's ex-friends, that she dumped along the way, and it's very bad for her in those terms. But there's something very important to consider about human behavior and how politics work, because we know, at least in the USA and the rest of the world and Latin America, from where I come, politics are really unpredictable. All right, are unpredictable in one way and predictable in another. I'm going to make an example about this, but that's why I want to make a very specific analogy with a dynamo. A dynamo works because it has two polarities. Okay, it has the positive or negative or not. So it's like a magnet with two poles, right? And it works because it has that one positive pole and a negative pole, or have opposing poles, so to speak. Exactly the same works anything that you're gonna do that brings awareness. And politics is extremely sensitive for this. I mean, this is not gonna work if you want to be, for example, a successful lawyer or doctor or teacher. In politics, this works a little bit different. In politics, you need two things. You need people to love you. You need people to support and love you. And at the same time, you need people to just troll you, just hate you, just despise every single thing that you say. This is absolutely important, because you're never going to get traction as a politician if you don't have people that simply hate every single word that you say. That's a given. That's the biggest secret of this, okay, of politics. You cannot. It's impossible, because that polarization of people, it was get that energy running. That's exactly like a dynamo. Politics, it's exactly like a dynamo. You get people that love you and people that hate you, and between them they create that energy that propels you forward. It doesn't happen, for example, in doctors, because you really want everyone to say that you are a good doctor. But in politics, that's really important. And you want to be sure that every action you say, every word you say, every single appearance is designed to attract the people you want to attract and repel the people you want to repel. You cannot attract everyone. That is impossible. And by the way, people have told me, some people have asked me some tips about going here on YouTube, starting a YouTube channel. And one of the the first, or any social media, but YouTube is especially important in this. There are people that are going to love you no matter what. And there are people that are going to despise you and hate you no matter what. These people, no matter if you turn on the camera to brush your teeth, okay, they're going to cheer you up and tell you that you're brushing your teeth beautifully. And these other people, doesn't matter if you have the cure for cancer. No, they're going to say that, well, you took so long for that. Why did you took so long? Why did it take so long? What is your agenda, hidden agenda? That is reality. That is how humanity works. You have like this bell curve, is a distribution of people where you're going to have people that absolutely love you no matter what, for no logical reason, all right? And people that are going to just be an obstacle for you no matter what you do, for no logical reason. And if we can talk about politics, and this works in politics, and we can talk about YouTube channels, and this works in YouTube channels, you can imagine that in these systems of behavior, you can also bring that model, okay, to other more common systems of behavior. And that happens exactly the same way in our daily life. The problem, not the problem, is the characteristic of daily life is that we are not exposed to that much people, because you have to be exposed to tens of thousands of people to have enough person to find enough people in those extreme polarities. But you're gonna find them, and you're gonna find some that are in areas that are a bit let's say they are not so, that extreme, that are not so rabid. I hope that you get the idea, because it's like a curve. But it's important to be aware of those two polarities. We don't feel that in our daily lives because maybe we know personally 100 or 200 people is not enough to find. Sometimes you find someone that just loves you no matter what, and sometimes you find one person that is a total pain in the arse. That's possible, but it's a bit harder in daily life. But this is how it works. And Meghan, our Duchess, you know that she has really made the cut about that. There's people that really still love her no matter what, and people that despise her no matter what. So she's got the initial chop, and she's got the initial running of that. Of course, we could cross the Atlantic for a minute and talk about Catherine. An example. Catherine is exactly the same phenomenon. Since she reaches, or she so many people is aware of her, okay? She's so famous, so to speak, Catherine. Then, of course, there are going to be people that love her no matter what she does, and people that despise her no matter what she does. Okay? This is going to be absolutely normal. The normal when you're exposed to a lot of people. What is the difference when you're talking about social issues or political issues? What is the big difference? I'm gonna go back to this. I want to go back to this slide. What is the difference when you're talking about political issues? When you want to get into politics, as Meghan has all the intention, has made her speeches, wants to paint herself as an activist, and it's obvious that maybe it's not in the short term the White House race, but it's not out of the picture either. She wants that traction because that would get her in front of many more people than now, and will get her in front of powerful people, because politics, in fact, is not about fame, not about wealth, but about power and control. You get famous, obviously. You get wealthy because all your connections, all the recognitions. I'm not talking about corruption or anything. About just for the awareness to your persona. You can be absolutely legal, clean, transparent, and get wealthy by being in a very high position. And especially if you have charisma, that is very important. I think that Meghan in this case has a big problem because, and that this is the biggest hurdle for a career in politics. And first I have to say, I want to mention why I'm giving this topic importance. I'm giving Meghan's political intentions importance because since I've been really studying the Harkle's strategy so far in the last 6 months, I'm noticing a trend that in these other areas like money and wealth, for example, is not going. It's just not cutting it. I think Meghan is an intelligent woman. I think she is an intelligent woman, and I don't think that she could have gotten so far by not being an intelligent woman. But if she's an intelligent woman, you have to make it like an equation, right? You have to think that she's doing this for another purpose. Maybe she has some obstacles. Maybe she has bumped into some bad decisions. Okay, say Ellen. But if she is intelligent in the way of having reached to the point that she is, that everyone is talking about her, she is one of the figures that people are really searching and looking for. It doesn't matter if you're famous or infamous. It takes a little effort to get to that level in which you have a steady source of people looking for you. Because you can do something very stupid and you get that spike of people searching for you, but people are going to forget about you instantly. Okay? But Meghan has reached that level of fame that it keeps an oscillating status there. So I touched the politics side because I have the hunch that this is what she's aiming for in the following month, in the following year. I'm almost sure of that, because she has to cut through all the red tape of all those bad decisions, and she has to clean up her image as fast as she can. And how can she do that? Well, she has to keep doing the activism that she has not been doing, in fact, and try to build those connections with the politicians. But please, it's not about calling them directly, but on the private phones and telling them, "Hello, I am the Duchess of Sussex. How are you?" That is not the way. That's really not the way. That's the kind of things that tells me that maybe she's a little bit hot-headed, and she doesn't really think things a lot before doing them. Okay, and she's not listening to her PR team. But I still think that she's intelligent. I think that she's got a plan, and of course that plan has been positioning herself in a political career. But any political career, very good that you're mentioning Oprah, Beverly, thank you. Any political career needs friends. And we can say that in the friends department, this is important for any person to understand. In the friends department, Meghan is lacking. Because earlier this year, Michelle Obama supported her decision of stepping back and supported what she said in the Oprah interview. But what has happened ever since? We have radio silence from the Obamas to the Harkles, and that is not good, because that was a really good connection to that politics that Meghan is looking for. And why doesn't it? Why didn't it work? What happened? Why is there radio silence? Why? I understand that that Meghan was not invited to. I think it was Barack's birthday and the other was that they didn't congratulate Meghan when Lilibet was born. It was a series of things that are not common if people claim to be friends of someone, have a relationship with someone. And this connection was important because it's obvious that if Meghan does anything related to politics, she's going to pick the Democrat side, okay? And I said that I don't want to get too much into political terms, but it's obvious that she's going to pick the Democrat side, and she needs those Democrat friends to just support her crusade. That is obvious. And this is the same, this is exactly the same for every other aspect that we watched before. You want power and control, you want money and wealth, you got fame and glory, you need to know the right people. If you you have to know who you need to know, okay, to meet. This is important. Nobody, virtually nobody can do something great or go far without knowing the right people and having a mentor, having a buddy, having someone to have your back. Okay, that is important. That is really, really important, especially because one thing is being an activist and saying that you're a feminist and saying that you are standing for equality. Okay, you can say all those things. And the other thing is that the moment that you raise your hand and you say, yes, I want to go into politics, well, the research done in her life is going to be nothing to what the political parties can do about her. Because if the Democrats, but by the slightest reason, consider that she could be anything, could represent them in any way, they're gonna just rip through her whole life, completely, just to find anything that could be taken out of context or against her. Again, this is something that has been done since the start of time, okay, for any candidate, for any politician, because you have to know who are you letting inside your tribe. And in politics, that they are used to play that dirty so many times. You can imagine if Meghan wanted privacy, that is the least thing. That is the last thing that she's gonna get here. Okay, so that is something. We had two things so far that are really obstacles for Meghan's career. If Meghan doesn't want to keep making a fool of herself to be relevant, if she wants to really go into politics and do something serious, she has two obstacles. First, she has to take care of her relationships, okay, with the Obamas, for example. That's an example. And the second one, the one that I was talking about, you need to be aware that your life is going to be exposed completely, and everything about you is going to be just deconstructed, deciphered. I will be nothing. The body language guy is going to be nothing. All my videos are going to represent nothing in the way that these people are going to just investigate her and everything that has happened to her. And there are so many rumors, okay, allegedly, as Neil Sean says, about how Meghan actually met Harry. I am not to say anything here because all of that is just top secret or top reason for being canceled on YouTube and everywhere else. I'm not gonna mention any of that here, but if those rumors are true in the slightest way, they're gonna find out, and they're gonna put all of that just for everyone to see. If the Democrats don't do that, well, the Republicans surely will. So that should be really frightening for Meghan. That's not something that she will be willing to do. Now, why would she want to run for any political thing? Because that will let her meet powerful figures, powerful person, powerful that will let her be more relevant. Again, she is in the business of being relevant, of bringing awareness to her causes. And for that, so far, we don't have real substance. And this is another thing that you can use for your family, for your workplace, to identify who are the people who have real substance and have actions behind their claiming to defend, they're claiming to be. You need real substance. Words almost never matter, and words even set up expectations, and people does not, if people do not live to their expectations of their words, then it's the words are really liability. And that's why I have this other slide. It's gonna be very funny and important. This is the best example I can give you about how to identify one person, anyone, that doesn't have substance behind their actions. And so many politicians fall into this category. So many bosses, supervisors, managers, people that are in positions that really they don't really deserve. And in politics, it's very easy to say, hey, I am standing for, in this case, we're going to stand for minions. I told you I didn't want to get too political here. I wanted to make a fresh video about human behavior. So we're going to pick a totally made up topic about minions matter and minions equality. I stand for minions, and I stand for minions should have the same rights as humans. That's my main stance. That's what I'm going to defend. Why someone like Meghan Markle or anyone that wants to signal this virtuosity, this virtuous signaling, why do they pick this kind of initiatives? Because once they pick, for example, minions matter, okay, and you begin to attack the person, okay, let's attacking the person and say, Meghan behaves in a non-ethical or non-logical way. She doesn't have a clue, for example, about budget or education on a mass scale, anything. Politics, okay? We're talking about politics. And you point that to her, she could use the minions matter and minions equality against you and say, you are attacking me because you are against minions equality. You're against the minions having their rights being upheld for in our country. I think I'm trying to overcome my English barrier to try to explain this. But the moment you point out flaws in the person, for example, it happens with narcissistic mothers. I have a video about narcissistic mothers. You point out a flaw that is affecting you, and it's a flaw that is affecting the family, and a flaw that is even affecting your mother, and it's your narcissistic mother. She's going to retaliate with the love she has for you. She's going to, with all that she has done for you, and etc. She's going to respond not with a defense of she as a person, okay, of herself as a person, because with concepts that you cannot disagree on. And this, if you're going to get anything from this live, I'm going to repeat that with another example. You attack a person and point out their flaws, and they're going to answer defending a concept that cannot be attacked. They're not going to defend themselves. They're going to, but I stand for this and this and this. For example, in the workplace, you have a co-worker that is absolutely passive aggressive. They forget things, and make your life slightly miserable every week. And you point out the flaws to them. They're going to retaliate or answer with concepts that you cannot attack. For example, well, it's like this ambient, this circumstance, this atmosphere, our workplace is toxic per se. It's not me, it's the workplace. And maybe the workplace is, but you're trying to point out their flaws as a person and their flaws as persons. Their personal flaws that are affecting you are not part of the workplace, but they're trying to use the workplace as an answer to that. Okay? I'm going back to the politics example. You attack one person that is standing for minions' rights, and they're gonna tell you you are jealous, or you are against minions. You have this problem with this marginalized people, these little yellow people that are marginalized. And you're going to say, hey, no, I don't have any problem with them. I want their rights upheld. I want to defend their rights too, but I'm pointing out your flaws as a person because you are narcissistic, or you are a despot, or you are behaving in a way that is actually harming everyone around us or many people around us. So this is absolutely open, and this is sometimes a bit hard to grasp. But I want you to just keep it in your mind, put it in your mind, think about it. And the next time that you see this person that you don't exactly know, you have the idea that has something against you, and you don't know exactly what it is, try to really listen to their answer when they are attacked, when they are criticized, and try to make sense of their answer. If they are trying to deflect the answer into a concept that cannot be attacked per se. If they say, is that a classic one? I behave like this because I love freedom, and sometimes you have to behave badly to uphold freedom. That's absolutely logic in some way. Sometimes you have to break the rules to uphold and defend freedom, and we are in an era of humanity, okay, in a time of humanity that has so many examples about that. You need to break some rules in order to uphold freedom, or break some rules in order to defend minions' rights. But one thing is breaking the rules to really uphold what you're standing for, and one thing is using your power to affect those around you. The narcissistic mother to use her power to affect her children. The toxic coworker to use their power to affect the others in the workplace. That is not right. That is never right. And people can use those kind of arguments just to defend themselves. And you will have a very hard time trying to get through it, because most people do not understand this dynamic. That's why I think that most people, in fact, most people do not really understand political debates, because they always have an underlying, the underlying message is much more visceral. It's much more about body language. It's much more about presence. A political debate is more about how you say things. How do you defend yourself? How do you react? It's all body language. It's visceral. It's pure behavior. Most people do not have the idea to grasp the concepts of what are they saying. That's right. For example, I don't want to be the president of any country, so most of those issues, economic, educational, international policies, etc. I really do not have the knowledge to really know. If I'm looking, for example, at debate in the United States, I really won't be able to really understand if they are making sense, if what they're saying is making sense. And sometimes, and we know that you can be a candidate, okay, and you can say absolute nonsense, and it doesn't matter. It just it just matters how you say it. If you say it with enough confidence, if you say it like you mean business, if you say it like you are taking no prisoners. It sounds sad how we are influenced by body language in this way, of people that are going to be so much power once in office. But it's reality. It's reality. People don't have the ability to make sense of the words, much less in real time. And even if someone comes and outlines everything that happens in a political debate, most people, 90% of people, don't have that ability. I don't have that ability. I'm guessing that most of you just watch people and their reactions and just, hey, I have a knack that this person is really, really representing me in their answers, in their attitude, and how they say things. It's like that, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, because that's how we have functioned for thousands of years. But at the same time, the game can be rigged. The game can be played, and you can play someone into having this strategy that minions matter, and having the strategy of course, having the right connections, and having the strategy of polarizing the public, and having the strategy of looking for power and control. The problem with Meghan is that she has political ambitions. She has political ambitions, but she doesn't have the grit. So far, haven't had the grit to combat anything that could be possibly related to stand a political campaign. If she was complaining about this British tabloids, about calling her all this R word and everything happened because of that, she won't be able to stand the shitstorm of a real political agenda. Now, there's another strategy that you can use. Is that the famous quote that you try to aim for the stars, because if you aim for the stars, then you end up on the top of the mountain. It's possible that she could be making noise, indirect noise, about, I know there's a biographer, an unofficial biographer, I don't remember the name now, that claimed that Meghan could at some point run for office, and to have a real political career is not out of the question. But the problem is that she's got traits that are against that. It's really, really, really absolutely important not be a narcissist, because we know, for example, that Donald Trump is one great example of being a narcissist. A great example of you can say something today, and 2 weeks later you just say something the opposite. And I have to say, I have to confess that the first time it happened to me the same twice. The first time I heard that Donald Trump was being a candidate, was considering being president of the United States, I really thought that we were living in The Simpsons. I laughed. I thought that was a joke, right? It could be a joke. So how can you make sense of that? And we got 4 years. We got 4 years with Donald Trump. It was made reality. And even this man Allen, the Professor Allen, that he has predicted every U.S. election since 1984. He predicted that Donald Trump was going to win in 2016. And so there's so much in politics that could be unpredictable. That's why I told you that Donald Trump being a president of the United States is something absolutely unpredictable. But according to that theory of the 13 keys of the of the White House. I think it's the theory called the 13 Keys. Then this professor predicted that Donald Trump was going to get elected. So there's always a possibility, okay, that an absolute narcissist, I'm going to treat Donald Trump just for the narcissist part. I don't know if you like him or not. I know that most of my followers, I think it's half and half. Some are with Trump, some are against Trump. I think the narcissist part is what is the interest here. Okay, this is the correlation that we can connect to Meghan, the narcissism. Most politics have a healthy dose, a great dose, so to speak, of narcissism. This is important too, but it's the way that it's important the way that people perceive them. And if we talk about polarity, we're talking about polarity when I cannot imagine another figure that could steer that polarity the way Donald Trump did, and that was one of his greatest advantages in persuasion. Okay, this is important, but right. See some of the comments. Okay, I think I have it almost ready. I'd like to read some of your comments, but there's one more thing I'd like to say about Meghan Markle. I said that I consider Meghan an intelligent woman. I say this because the way she treated her acting career, the way she crafted her blog, the way she has gone from point to point, I don't think you can just stumble upon or fall into the places just by accident. That's not something that can happen. That's not something that is normal. She could have an opportunity to pivot how people are perceiving her into a more activism, political way. But there are at least 3 obstacles that go absolutely against her in terms of her personality, how she has presented herself, and how she has tried to connect with the public and has failed. Okay, so that's something that I think, talking about Donald Trump, he was not afraid of presenting himself and not caring if the public liked him or not. Okay, I think that is important. I think that is a lesson that keeping the distances, anyone can learn, and you have to really think about that. Do you really want to appease to everyone? You want everyone to love you? You can't. That is going to be a very frustrating life. I'm not saying that you get to be a politician or act like a politician or have the narcissistic tendencies of most politicians, but you have to think about that. You have to think about that curve that we were talking about in the beginning. There are people that are going to love you no matter what, and people that are going to hate you no matter what, and really think about that. Okay? And that's how Meghan, if Meghan controls that, if Meghan can control the way she really keeps those relationships and not only thinks about her personal gain and her personal exposure, but actually knows how to navigate those political rivers, she is aware of the way her life is going to lose all her privacy. Everything about her privacy is going to be just poof. You're gonna went absolutely disappear. And the other was, all right, have the substance to really be able to bring someone to the table. Then she could have a political career. it could work, of course. Anyone, I think Latin America is also an example that anyone can make it. Really, it's really that simple. Would America accept a proven liar? Well, you tell me. I think it has happened more than once. I really there's another. Most of you are not aware of where do I come from. I'm Venezuelan. I'm from Venezuela, and can remember. I remember the moment, the exact moment. I think let me go back. I think it was, I don't know. It was 1990. No, it has to be 1997. Yes, 1997. I was working my I think it was doing I used to be an illustrator too. I was doing an illustration for work, and I listened to the radio, and there were I think they were saying that Hugo Chavez was going to run for president of Venezuela, and he had the exact same reaction than with Donald Trump. And it was in 1997. I laughed. For God's sake, how could that work? Someone that I don't know. It's just from the. I don't want to say the words. I was about to say the words, but in this time, you have to be very careful with the words that you say. But I laughed hard because I didn't think that he had any chance. But maybe Venezuela's story. You know that it went really bad, really quick. But I cannot tell you much more from that. But it was not good at all. But when I heard that Donald Trump was running for office, I thought it was a joke. So when I heard that Meghan Markle was running for office, I joked too. But then I stopped and said, "For God's sake, this has happened. This is deja vu again." 1997 and 2014, and now this. No, this is kind of. I have to make a video about this. I'm not saying anything, but it has happened to me twice, and I don't think it should happen a third time. Now, I have to make that disclaimer. Okay, let me read some of your comments. We have a little time left. I don't want to go as far as 1 hour and 10 minutes at most. I don't want to make this live too long, but that's my point, that it's not out of the question. I hope that what is most important is I hope that you got that when people try to deflect a question with a concept that you cannot attack. I stand for the minions. I stand for your own well-being. How are you going to tell me that? How are you going to treat me like that? Because I stand for your well-being. All that I have done to you, how much I love you. How can you speak to me like that? Every single answer that includes a concept that you cannot attack. What are concepts that you cannot attack? The love of a mother to a child, the rights of the minions. Minions have rights, of course. The willingness to work together. For example, I try to work together, but I have a hard time. I have a hard time trying to work together with you. There's so many ways that someone can answer, and those are either deflections or excuses when you point out their behavior. This is very important. I really want you to be aware of that. I know that I had these tips. I don't want to call them lessons. These tips in these videos, because I know that it's easier to be talking about a topic, our favorite topic, Meghan. Meghan is our favorite topic. Meghan is smiling at me because she knows that I bring awareness to her. Okay, she should be thankful, and but at the same time, I want you to get something actionable from these videos. I want you to learn something, have a good time. Some of you have told me, again, I have to acknowledge that you don't like this long format, but it's like in Twitter. In Twitter, you can, there's my Twitter in there. If you are not following me in Twitter, you can follow me, that's my handle, and Instagram too. Twitter is like my scrapbook, okay? Where I have juggle ideas, juggle images, juggle clips, videos, so for my analysis. And these lives are also like a scrapbook where I try to juggle ideas, talk long form about a topic, and maybe afterwards I will do summaries of these long form topics. For those of you who prefer the 9-minute videos, I'm gonna keep doing the 9-minute videos. I will always be doing the 9-minute videos. Do not be afraid about that. These lives are an extra. If you don't like to watch the lives, okay, then simply you can turn off when, I don't know, 30 minutes, or watch them in sections. And this is a great example of how triggered can people be these days. Have received comments of people really upset that I don't want to stay 1 hour and a half looking at you. And you don't have to. You are not forced. I'm not putting a gun to your head to do that. Just go away. That's it. This is something that I try to make a bit more flexible. This is something that helps me replenish my energy. So if you, my buddies, are there, you know that these lives help me replenish my energy. They are a bit easier to prepare than an edited video. I know that I can ramble a bit, but this rambling is part of my thought process, so I can, this is a good idea, I should make a shorter video with this. And I'm thinking also doing this shorts, these vertical videos with really very small 30-second, 60-second summaries of concepts hidden in my videos. And I say hidden because they're not the main topic of my video. For example, I talk about the royal wedding between Meghan and Harry, and inside that video I include a tip about body language of behavior. You already, if you have seen my channel, you know that my channel works more or less like that. It's this, I talk about British royals. I try to keep up with the British royals and the Montecito royals, and try to do this over and over again. And also told you, I have told you that you should never explain yourself. I'm explaining myself because it makes sense to explain yourself when you think about those who can be affected from your actions. And I know that you can be affected because you, for example, expected today a short video, and instead of a short video, I went live to talk about the possibility of Meghan Markle become president. Okay, maybe I upset your expectation or subverted your expectations, but just to be aware that the 9-minute videos are going to keep on running. Maybe tomorrow, 31st, December 31st, last day, 2021, maybe I'll get a video out. I think there's no reason that I could do that. Thank you very much for all your words of encouraging words. And I understand that you like, I want to give you as many formats as I can. I think that very short formats for very small tips, the 9-minute videos that have worked so well in the past 2 months. I'm really thankful that every time I put out a video, you literally flock to watch it, and really lucky, proud, and everything that I can mention about that, having you such loyal audience, and I'm really humble about this. And I think this is a great responsibility. And in fact, sometimes I'm really afraid of not being able to push a video, a 9-minute video that doesn't cut it. I try for each and every one of them to be top notch, and that is something that sometimes it stresses me a lot. So sometimes I just want to turn on the camera, talk about the topic, and I think that this could work. Uh, I you might have seen that I had this other experiments, other YouTube channels, and another YouTube channel, but I think it's much easier for your mental health. You focus on something, and that's what I'm focusing on this channel as of now, on this topic. I am really happy. I have 5 minutes yet. I've seen all your comments. I have the chat replay on, so I can catch up on your chat tomorrow when I'm working in the morning. And thank you for everyone that has sent a super chat and super stickers. Thank you for your support. And yes, I had to pin this comment. Venezuelans are the most politically awake people in the world. Yes, that's for sure. We've been through everything, the whole enchilada. Okay, to say something, and enchiladas are not Venezuelan, but you understood what I said perfectly. What else? Yeah, I can also use clips from the lives, but I'm still too lazy to get clips from the lives. What I can do is to remember, for example, this tip that I gave you. Write down that tip and then make a 60-second video or 30-second video about that tip. Very condensed. And I think the easiest the shorter it is, the easiest it is to remember and implement. It's only that my production pipeline is going to change a bit about that, to produce that shorter videos, because it's a bit counterintuitive, but shorter videos demand more work per second produced of video, and the longer the video is, less work per minute produced of videos. Something very strange, but if you want to get into YouTube, you understand. If you are already on YouTube, you have a YouTube channel, you understand what I mean. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for all of you that have subscribed so you can comment. And if you want to support my channel, remember that there's a link in the description. You can either download my free tips ebook. You can become a member of my channel with the join button. Okay, there's currently only one type, very simple type. Just is one option to become a bronze buddy and support my channel. Or you can support also my channel through PayPal, whatever you like. My buddies, was a real pleasure to spend the next to last night of this year with you. And with this topic, it doesn't matter the topic, as long as it's about human behavior, as long as it's this fascinating world of royals and non-royals, and we get to enjoy ourselves a bit. And as you can see, I'm trying to be more fluent with my English. I'm working on it, and you're helping me with that. And I'm really thankful for your patience and for being part of my evolution as professional, as YouTuber, and of course as a person. I'm really thankful for that. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and until we meet again in another live or video, take care, have a good time, and I hope if we don't see each other tomorrow, have a happy new year, and 2022 that's going to be awesome. I know, I absolutely sure about that. Thanks for sharing this live today. I love you all, really love you. Thank you. Good night.